even with that being said, yeah, like, you've still got to be able to look at yourself and say, how much am I really pushing myself? Because when you're out here on your own, right, you know, you're doing your own thing, and you're pretty much in the top 1%, 2% of people your age in what you're doing and how you're living. But you're on your own though. And everyone knows. And that's what makes the journey so much harder, but so much more valuable. Because you see, when you're on your own, you can't push yourself as hard as if you was with someone else telling you to do what you don't know you can do or not. You know when you're at the gym, let's just say you're doing bench press, right? If you're on your own and you're benching 1, 2, 3, 4, your arms are trembling, 100 kg, your arms are trembling. You know, okay, 5, and then I'll put it down, I'll put the weight down after that, right? Listen to this though. If you was with someone else, they would be telling you to push for more, go for the 6, go for the 7. You wouldn't tell yourself that, because in your mind, you know, you've reached such a point of fatigue that your physical fatigue takes over your mental fatigue. You see, now you don't have the mental strength to tell yourself, oh, go for more reps, because you've become so physically drained and painful. You can't shout louder than what's being told up to you up here. You understand? But if you're with someone else, they don't know exactly how fatigued you are. They don't know exactly how tired you are. And guess what? Sometimes you can push more and further, which is why I feel as though it's. You might think, oh, you're killing it. You're doing so good, and you are. But you could always be doing more. You could always be doing better if you had someone by your side pushing you further. You know, just to break that placebo, just to break that mental barrier. All of it, you know, especially if they're fucking encouraging, you know, and they're telling you you're a bitch if you don't do this, or you know, or telling you what you need to know, and you know, really pushing you. It really makes you, it's like it gives you more energy almost. You understand? But yeah, that's just what I thought to myself right now, you know, because you will not find, unless they're like practicing because you're a bit late. But if you're trying to become a footballer at like 23 years old, 20 years old, you're kind of late, right? But it's not that you can't make it, but you need to put in a considerably larger amount of effort than the average 18-year-old, 16-year-old, 13-year-old. You understand? You need to work so much harder than they do, because they have not only do they have time, but they have that age over you. They have that energy advantage. You don't have that. You understand? So that's what's good to understand, you know. Sometimes I feel like it's just all we can do is just ask ourselves, are we pushing as hard as we can? You know, just ask yourself that question. You know why? Because the better version of yourself, that's all you have. It's only you and who's up here, that guy that you want to be, that guy who you want to be when you're older in 10 years time. You only have yourself right now and that guy. When you're doing that bad habit, when you're taking part in that addiction that you said you would stop last week, and you've come and you're starting it again, that guy in the back of your head telling you, yo, Michael, bro, what you doing, bro? Like, come on, man, we formed an agreement. That guy, that's who you have. That's all you have. You don't have anyone else. No one's gonna be realer than that person. Okay? Don't ignore it. You know? Times like this, yeah, where you're sane. You're not in that limbic mind. You're not feeling emotional. You're not feeling. When you can listen to that voice inside your head telling you what is good for you, when you can listen to it, it makes it easier to listen to it in times of dire need and distress. You understand? So that's really my messages. You need to grow that relationship with yourself. You know? With yourself, with that voice in your head. That is you. You understand? So yeah, I'm gonna let this yeah,